All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff, kicking it like always. That's what I'm talking about. My man, he's getting himself together and put that on mute. I always like to keep tabs on my stuff. All right, let me bring my man in here.
All
So
right.
we ain't gonna get all fancy tonight with all these little 10-minute introductions. Y'all know me. We're gonna let my man Mathurin introduce himself, and we just gonna flow. So
All right.
if you got questions, okay, now look, y'all. We got a beautiful platform here where people can hop in and ask their questions. All right. I know y'all like to just chat and all of that, but come on, let's just get some interaction here, okay? Let's get some interaction. Hop on here, talk to my man, talk to me, ask you questions and everything. So I'm putting the link to join the live stream and everything. So now y'all know, don't come in here acting crazy. You get booted and everything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just come in here. We trying to just help notaries out and everything. We're not here to bash anybody or anything that anybody's doing. I can speak for myself. What I tend to try to address when I talk is behavior. Okay. Now, if that behavior is associated with a particular individual, I can't do anything about that. But I'm talking about the behavior that we see in the notary business that's good and that's bad. So that's really where it boils down to. So if you got behaviors that ain't right, I might say something about the behavior. You might take it personal, thinking I'm talking about you. Then you need to disconnect yourself from that behavior. Now, if you feel that behavior you're doing is correct, then hey, stand by it. If I feel that it's wrong or somebody else feels that it's wrong, we're going to stand by and love the dialogue and give you an opportunity to help us understand why you are doing what you're doing, because our industry, our business is very, very particular, and we can't be out here just doing any and everything. As I was talking on the gram today about them asking me to notarize a document, and there was no valid ID for the lady in the name that they wanted her to sign in. So that's the kind of stuff that we have to be mindful of. And you always can have somebody to say, oh well, you can notarize it anyway, because you don't want them to put you on a blacklist. Okay, if I notarize it and it's wrong, I'm gonna be on more than a blacklist.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's at. So Ishmael, go ahead on and give your introduction, man. Tell the people what you're all about and take your time with it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me on here, Griff. So for those who don't know me, my name is Ishmael Mathurin. I'm the owner of Mathurin Notary Services. I've been a notary since 2017. I am out of Massachusetts. So when I started, I was mainly doing general notary work prior to me hopping on to the loan signing side of thing. Um, I am fully mobile. Thanks to my wife, we have a company vehicle that is fully equipped with a printer, scanner. We even has a mount for a laptop. So this is pretty much what I do. I cover 3 counties: Plymouth County, Bristol County, Barnstable. I make most of my, I want to say, like, my highest fees is traveling to location where other notaries either don't want to go or they feel like it's too far. That has been one of the key for me the past few months. And I linked up with Aunt Griff not too long ago when we did a Father's Day special, and we've been in contact ever since. So I appreciate him having me on here, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And we are here. We are going to bring some value to you guys tonight. If you have any question, please feel free to ask your questions.
All right, all right. So one of the things we can do is we can pretty much just start off by going down the topics that you shared with me, and we'll just cover them and just take our time and go as deep or as light as we need to
Gotcha.
on each one
All right.
and everything. So kick it off for me, man.
All right. Well, the first thing is, man, as a business owner, family man, even as a friend, the first thing that separates us that are constantly doing this business separates us that have not quit along the way because we
Hmm.
face some difficulty. I want to say is mindset. One
Right.
of the things that was on the topic for tonight is mindset. A lot of people don't understand how important it is to have the proper mindset, not just to run a business, but just to go about your day to day life. And I wanted to open this live tonight with the mindset. And I wanted to ask you, the main question because we all see you. You're always on the go. You're on YouTube. You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook. So you are providing so much value
Hmm.
to the notary business world. I want you to, tell the people and tell myself, like, why is it important to have the proper mindset?
Well, um, it will drive you and keep you going when things don't seem to be going the way you want them to. If you have the right mindset, and as I was saying earlier today on Instagram, before my last appointment, if the reason why you're trying to be successful is because you're trying to go after amenities, meaning you want to make a lot of money so you can go shopping and traveling and all of that's nice. But poor people can do that. Broke people can do that. Middle class people can do that. You just end up being in a whole bunch of debt to do it.
Mhm.
My mindset is I want to be successful. So I need to do things that equate to success. And when you look at true millionaire and billionaires, their mindset isn't, oh, let me get a couple of $100,000. Now go spend money. Let me go get 10,000 and go spend money, unless it's something that's going to help them grow their business even more and get more dollars. That's where that, because when you're successful and have the money that you need, you can do the amenities anytime you want. Because for most people, they have to plan to do amenities. Right now, can any of us just say, okay, I'm gonna just take a vacation for the next 3 weeks? I would like to, but I know I can't because
Yeah.
I don't have the funds available to just stop doing the notary business and go take it. So then, therefore, am I really being? That's not successful in my book. That I can't just stop right now and go do it. Have I acquired some level of success? Yes. So the mindset, the way you look at the business, the way you look at yourself, the way you look at others in the business, the way you look at the people who are feeding you the business, all matters. Okay. It all matters. If you're looking at people in the wrong light, if you're looking at the signing companies and the title companies as crooks
Mhm.
because they're not paying you what you think you should get. And then if you think about where did you get the idea that you should be getting paid this money, it's probably not from a valid source.
Nope.
So you think that you should be paid all of this money, but they're like, well, this is what we pay, and this is what we've been paying long before you ever came along. So then you're saying, well, there ain't nothing but a bunch of crooks. They're just screwing us. They're just taking advantage of us. And it's like, okay, what evidence and proof do you have of that? Well, that's just what I feel. That's just what I believe because I'm not getting what I want out of it. And I'm like, okay, so then what is it that you want and what are you willing to do in order to get what you want? Well, I want to make $400 a signing. Okay, so then you might need to go live in another state that has signings at that dollar amount.
Yep.
I don't want to live over there. I like being here. Okay, well, being there means 150. And now you're gonna try to make somebody pay you 400 who can only give you 150.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that's where your mindset is, how you're looking at this. And unfortunately, a lot of people are right now, they're still looking at this business from a W-2 mindset. They want somebody to do everything for them. Well, my job takes care of my taxes. They take care of this. They take care of my health care. They take care, and I just trinkle a little dollars out here and there. Matter of fact, I don't even know how much I pay because they just come out automatically. And they want that mindset with running a business, and it does not work.
No, not at all. No, no. Which you are absolutely right about that because I have come across, different people that's, just starting out into the notary field or has some type of interest on it. And one of the first question I always ask is, how much money am I going to make? It's like, that's the number one question as far as on my experience is, people want to know how much money can they make. Is it possible to do it with a full-time job? Is it not possible? And
Mhm.
I like we all know, as far as for me, I still work a 9 to 5. And it's how I start my day is, I always start my day with some sorts of affirmations, because I feel like the first thing that you watch or listen to in the morning dictates how your day is going to go. So if you're
Mhm.
waking up and the first thing you do is hop on Instagram, hop on Snapchat, hop on Facebook to see what everybody was doing last night, or you're waking up just you go straight to watch the news, that I believe that dictates how your day goes. So one
Yeah.
way how I set up my mindset is I'll listen to the Les Brown, to Eric Thomas, Jim Rohn.
Mhm.
So I listen to some sort of motivational speakers that kind of help me prepare for my day,
Correct.
especially what I do for my 9 to 5. For those who don't know, I work in the prison, and I can't go in there with just any type of mindset. So so even I know I'm going in there, I'm gonna be challenged or faced with some crazy situation where the general public will not want to be part of. I have to make sure that my mindset is correct. I have to make sure that when I leave home from my 30-minute drive from my house to where I'm working at, I try to be as positive as I can. There are days where, the external factors will take play, certain things I would not control, like such as traffic, the weather, the other drivers. But I feel like your mindset plays an important role on your success. And I feel like a lot of people do not give it as much attention, as far as why you need to be prepared mentally to not only to become a business owner, just to become a better person in general. And like I just gave you guys some ways that I practice my mindset, such as the meditation music, the motivational speakers, or sometimes you can just wake up and just take some time to yourself, like 5, 10 minutes, all in silent. I try to wake up early in the morning because all the kids are sleeping. You know what I mean? So so mindset starts, that's the number one preparation I feel like everyone should, um that should be priority. But that also goes into the cultural difference. Us in the black community, not everyone want to explore or want to say that they meditate. Like is
Right.
you
True.
know over the years things have changed. I've seen a huge shift within the black community, but
Mhm.
that is something that is key. Like I can't tell you like how important it is to make sure you have the right mindset when you are starting your day. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday.
Right.
Doesn't matter what happened last week. Well, how are you going to start this day? How are you going to create your day? And that's one thing people need to realize, that you really have the power to create your day based on your mindset.
And that is key. Yeah, because um I had to go back to make sure that I listened to motivational speaking, and that's why I even have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Make Your Move.
Nice.
And it has all of the different, motivational speakers that I listen to. Now again, like one of them I like, Dan Penner, old white guy, always wearing a pinstripe suit. He got a little bit of filthy mouth on him. But if you can get past that and just hear what he's saying, it's like, okay, okay, got it. Because everybody's always talking about taking nuggets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to get a little nugget of information. Well, there's nothing wrong with nuggets, but you really want the whole thing. You want everything so that you
You
can
can get past that.
and
Just hear
grow.
what he's
So
saying.
sit back and I listen to all of these different motivational speakers, and they all got different reasons why they're doing what they're doing. But when I sit there and I say, okay, how does this apply to me? And I just sit back and I say, okay, I need to surrender my mind to what is right. What is truth for this notary business? What is the truth? If you focus on truth, I'm telling you, you going to be okay. But a lot of people aren't focused on truth. They're focused on emotions, they're focused on feelings, they're focused on showboating, and they're only looking at doing the things that will get them some play, get them some likes and everything. And but that may not be truth, because when you're faced with an opportunity to do wrong, you now to be able to stand on truth so that you can be able to do right. And again, I keep telling people, I say, look, if I wasn't doing something correct, my son wouldn't have wanted to join this business with me. He's sitting back watching me. Your sons are watching you. I don't know if you got any daughters or not.
Yeah, yep. I have one boy, one girl.
So your daughter and your son are watching you, as much as they might be playing around and stuff, but
Yeah.
they're paying attention and they're seeing how you do the business. And to me, I have to say it like this: the most embarrassing thing is that your son and your daughter, my son, will go to someone else and say, hey, teach me this business. I thought your dad was doing it. Yeah, but the way he's doing it ain't right. I can see he's not doing it right, and I want to know how to do it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the most embarrassing thing for me. And it makes me feel so good that my son decided he wanted to do the business and he asked me to help him. And now he's moving along and I'm getting him set up. So like I just went ahead on and bought another printer. Um so that way I can have 4 printers. So I'm gonna give him 2 and I'm gonna have 2. So now he's at the point, and then the next thing is to buy him his own scanner. So I'm gonna get him fully set up so he can do his thing. And now I could take the cheap route and say, well, he's only doing them a little bit here and there. Nah, I want to get him set up to where he can do it full time so he can have the right mindset. And instead of just giving him a printer
Yep.
or just saying always use mine, nah, I'm gonna get you set up just like dad set up. So when this thing pops for you and you start getting 10 or 15 orders a week, you have the equipment to support you
Exactly.
in everything.
Exactly. Nah, you're absolutely right. And I just want to I'm sure you're a pretty big reader. I just want to share this book.
Yeah,
This
go
book
for it.
right here is by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. It's pretty much The Secret to Freedom and Success. This is one of my go-to books. I always recommend this book. So if you don't have it, I will highly suggest that you get on Amazon and you place your order. You will not regret this. And so this book helps you with your mindset. It has, it kind of gives you a breakdown when he's interviewing. Supposed to be, he's interviewing the devil. So a lot of people call it a different thing. So he's just asking them, like, how is that, 1% of the world are successful and the other 99 is not? And then one of the conversation was, it comes down to your mindset. A lot of people don't have a definite purpose, or if they start a project, when things get rough, they quit. That was like, and in order for you to reach your goal, you need to have a definite purpose and you have to take definite action. And that's why a lot of people are missing. So I feel like, I wanted to just throw that out there while I have the book. And I just want to read a quote from it. It says that most real failures are due to limitation when men
Mhm.
set up in their own minds. So
Mm.
if you don't have the right mindset from the get-go, that will affect, how successful that you can be.
That
So
is correct.
it's Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I've done read this more than 10 times now. So it's definitely a great book. Definitely a great book. I appreciate that. Let's see what we got. Do we have any questions so far, or is everything's
Yeah,
going?
let's see. Because I know somebody, Patricia, had hopped in, and
Let's
I
see
was
what
just
we
getting
got.
ready to pull her in, and
You
then
have
she
any questions so
hopped out.
far? All right. Yeah, I'm trying to get used to. I'm trying to get used to StreamYard. So the first one that got me up in here, it
Yeah.
was nice. All right. So yeah, I'm not seeing any questions, so I guess we can just move on.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much beside the mindset, wanted to talk about business management. So
Yeah, that's a big one.
what is your take on business management? Like a lot of people hear business management and it's like, oh man, I can't do this. I need to. So what is your take on business management?
Man, you got to be able to manage what you're doing. I mean, you really do. Well, Samantha said she was over on IG waiting for it to pop up over there.
Oh man.
She just hopped on over here. Um, well, if you think about it, everybody, okay, let's take it in the context of relationships. A lot of people like don't be trying to manage me, meaning control what I do, what I don't do. So if your business needs managing, what are you managing it toward? You're managing it toward or in a direction so that you can be successful. Okay. Again, going back to like I was saying, not being trying to do this business or any business for amenities just so you can say I'm buying stuff and I'm partying it up. No, you're doing it so you can develop a culture of success. And by having that culture of success, you can get the amenities that you want. So when I manage my business, meaning I'm managing my time, I'm managing my talent, making sure that I'm using my talent to the fullest,
Yeah.
and I'm managing my treasure, which is the money that I have and the money that I'm making. And I'm making sure that I'm keeping tabs on all of that. So by keeping tabs on all of that, it affords you the opportunity to grow your business. Then you can get opportunities for funding. You can get opportunities to do more business and to expand into other areas. So by managing your business, sending out invoices on time, recording your money, keeping track of your expenses, showing up to appointments on time, responding back to emails, um, all of those things help you get into also it helps you get into the right mindset because W2s, we sit back as a W2 and we wait for everybody else to do stuff for us. We wait for them to tell us when we can take a day off, to do this, to do that, how much leave we got and everything. And so we really gotta focus on what do I need to do to get rid of the distractions, to get rid of things that will slow me down and cause a headache. So managing your business, like for me, I just went through this thing of, well, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, had a problem with the printer. So I figured that out. Then I have another problem with the printer, which I have to hop and grab it. But I just realized that Xerox Vitality paper
Mhm.
does not work in my brother printer. It was causing a lot of smudges. I don't know if the ink couldn't stay on the paper or whatever. So I pulled out my backup printer that I had not even used yet, and I was getting those same smudges. And the only thing that was the same was the paper. And I said, well, the only thing different that I'm using is this particular brand of paper. So I had to run over to the storage unit before they closed. I had 5 minutes to get there, got
Jesus.
there, pulled out a case of Walmart brand paper, stuck it in the printer, the smudge is gone.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, so now I know, okay, for me and what I'm dealing with, I can't use that Xerox paper. Is Xerox paper bad? I'm not saying that Xerox. I'm just saying it doesn't work with my printer and it's causing smudges real bad. Now I got plenty of toner, I got drums, I got everything that I need. So managing the business means I got to watch my expenses now that I'm going to have 4 printers. And I got to work my son into the ability to get into the habit of buying the stuff himself. So right now he's using my supplies. And I got to get him. So that's a part of my management of my business because if you are doing, 6, 7 signings a week,
Yeah.
okay, dude, you making the money, you can buy your own toner, you can buy your own paper
Yep.
and everything. But at this time right now, I'm going to take on that burden and make sure he has everything he needs so he can just focus on being a good notary. So managing him is a part of my business now. My business has grown by double. It was me, now it's me and him. And I have to stay focused on my time, all of that, my calendar, so I'm not double booked like I was today and everything. But fortunately, he was off and I was able to give him an order and everything. So he went out and made him some money.
Nice.
What you got, Patricia? So we got Patricia up in here twice. All right, Patricia. We only need you once, so I'm gonna pull. So where you at, Patricia? You let me unmute you.
Okay.
Oh, there's Patricia. Hold on. There she is. All right. What's going on, lady? What question you got, Patricia?
I can't
All
hear.
right. She's not hearing anything. Hit me in a private chat when you're ready.
All right. Yeah, I feel like, as far as the business management side, just what I would want to throw out there is, as far as business management for those that are new notaries, it's as far as bank accounts, because a lot of people fall into, like, when I was first started, I'm just gonna be honest, because I was one of them. As far as, when you first starting, you feel like you don't need a different bank account for your businesses because either you was not getting as many signing or you're not getting as many appointment as you would like. It is extremely important from the start, create a bank account, because you do not want what you're making from your notary business going into your personal account. And I feel like one of the first steps you guys should do once you become commissioned, once you have your businesses going, is to create a bank account. And also, as you start getting appointment, start to get familiar with your expenses and your profits. Because if you don't know how much you are spending, like how much you're giving out versus how much you're bringing in, you're gonna end up in the red quick. Like you're gonna realize, and most people might quit if it comes to that. But know your expenses and your profits, so you know exactly what you need to be doing. Don't be overspending on money that you don't have. Like a lot of folks be doing that. Don't be going out there buying all this fancy printer, the fancy scanner, because you're seeing a lot of people on Facebook talking about it. Meanwhile, you don't even know how you're going to avoid that.
Right.
Know your expenses, know your profits. That's probably one of the major key that I can say that you guys need to pay attention to when you're out.
All right, Samantha, we got Samantha from She Listens LLC. Oh, Matt, we got the Queen of Georgia Notary in his house.
She'll be buying down right now.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm gonna have to start getting me the little confetti so I can throw every time, her and LaShawn. Now LaShawn need to hop in here because I know LaShawn lurking out there somewhere and everything. What you got for us, Samantha?
Nothing much. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good. Look, I was over on IG like, okay, I'm waiting on a little live bubble to pop up. And then I said, where is everybody at? Then I went over to Griff's page and it was like, yeah, join us on YouTube. So I'm like, let me jump on YouTube right quick.
Griff figure it'd be a lot better doing it on this way, because I'm usually doing it on IG, but I've been trying to see how to stream, and Griff just pretty much put me on this here where I can do both Facebook and YouTube. So maybe now I'll be able to get more content out.
Look, I just love the fact that y'all are getting on and one, representing the male notary community,
right.
two, representing the African American male notary community, but really just jumping on and talking about the business aspect of it. It's still kind of baffling to me how people just assume that you're gonna drop that one nugget, or you got that one thing you're gonna tell them and their business is just gonna take off. But it's a culmination of all these pieces that you got to go out and do. Nobody can do this stuff for you. Nobody can hold your hand for 3 and 4 years. You just got to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
That is correct. And that's all I did. Go for it, man.
Which I completely agree with you. And right when you said that, I know you guys heard it before, but I always have to talk about my first, before I knew it was loan signing or any type of signing agent. So I received this call and they wanted me to do this loan signing, and then I took it. The fee was good. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll go there, bring the documents, clients will sign, and I'll be in and out. Then when I got there, I had to deal with the husband yelling at the wife, and so they're pretty much fighting. Now, mind you, this is my first one. First one. They fighting. He's getting mad at me, and I'm like, I can't answer these questions because I'm literally here for you guys to just sign, and I'm notarized. And he's asking me a question about interest rate and everything else like that, and I'm like, look, I can't answer this because if I start explaining this document to you to that extent, that'll be me practicing law. Then everything that could go bad during the appointment went bad. I didn't have an extra set of copies, so he started changing how he was signing, and then the wife's getting mad at him for doing that. Now, because I didn't have my mobile set up, I tried to run somewhere where I could get something printed. They were closed. So I had to drive back home. Drove an hour back home just to make copies. I got home. I ran out of paper. So I had to go to Walmart. Went to Walmart, got paper, came back home, print, then drove back another hour to that appointment to get
But
it.
you know what, Mathurin, that you listed about 20 things that went wrong with that signing, right? The biggest piece of that is, out of those 20 things, what all did you learn? And see, people are so scared to make a mistake or to have something go wrong. But baby, let me tell you, that's how you absolutely learn what to do, what not to do, how to be prepared for the next signing. Because somebody telling you about it, like you telling a new notary about that, that will freak them out.
Yep.
They don't want to make that level of mistake, but flipping it and telling them everything that you learned from that first signing. If you never told them anything negative that happened, you can tell them everything you learned from your first signing. Now to the point where you got a whole mobile office in your joint. You riding around town ready to kill loan signings. And that all stemmed from that very first one that you had so many challenges. The challenges is where you grow, and that's for real. I mean, that's just for real. Look, I ain't here to take y'all platform.
No,
but I just saw Miss Treese post something about the challenges she was having managing her job with her business. Post something. And that's my twist. I want to have a business that takes me away from a 9-to-5. However, I'm not there yet, and I'm okay with that. Griff, you were the first notary I saw with us sharing the Sign and Thrive platform that walked away from the job to pursue this full time, and I thought that was commendable. I love what I do, and I tell people all the time I love what I do. So I'm not ready to walk away from my job, but I'm doing everything I can to invest in my business. So Ms. Treese, make sure you have some solid systems in place, some solid schedules in place. There will be times that I had to turn down a lot of business too. But one of the things I've started doing is making sure I'm connected with other notaries in my area. And when somebody calls me, I'll say quick, hey, thank you for calling. I might not be able to serve you tonight, but I know another notary just as good who might be able to work with you. Do you mind if I give them your name and number? And that keeps me on their mind while they are getting services from somebody else. So Ms. Treese, I would just encourage you, keep building your business, keep doing what you need to do as far as your job is concerned. Make sure you feel your obligations there, but get you some solid systems and schedules in place and build you a local community so that y'all can share business.
Yeah, yeah. And Patrice is also saying she, like she said, she feel like giving up sometimes. What we suggest, what that's what Samantha was talking about. I get frustrated with my printer, also due to the smudges. Yeah, and see, one of the things with the printers, part of managing your business, you just get the right ink for your tone for your printer. I've tried the cheap stuff. Yeah, I tried the off brand. I tried the refurbished and all of that. That is very hit and miss.
Yep.
It is very hit and miss. So I just go ahead on and get it. See, one of my ways of keeping motivated to do the business is when you spend the money to do the business right, it makes you go out and work to make the money. Because if you find a way, think about it. If you can make it to where, let's say the average cost to run a business per month is about $2,500, and you found a way to get it done for $700, and that $700 is money that you already got available extra from your W-2. Where's the motivation to work your business for the money to make to cover your business? There is no motivation, because you're like, well, I got 700 over here, I can do that. My kid is grown now, so that money I was spending on his football camp and all of that, we just got back all of this money, so I'm good. Or my kid got a scholarship, so now I don't have to spend all that money for college anymore. I'm good, so I got this extra money. But when you go ahead on and work the business and start paying for stuff full price, so you can see what it really costs, that motivates me. Okay, I need to go ahead on and make sure I have the money for this rental car that I use every single month for my business, for the toner, for the drum, the paper, all of that. I make sure, and then I go out here and do it. But when you're trying to cut corners and you cut corners so deep, it's like, well, all right, I ain't really got to do it. I ain't really pressed. And we know people, in our community, we always say that, well, I ain't really pressed to do this because, it ain't really costing me much to be in this business anyway. So the moment you get it to the point where it's not costing you anything to be in business, you're in the W-2 world. Because think about it, it don't cost you really anything but time and effort to apply for a job. If somebody came to Samantha and said, hey, we want to pay you $25,000 more, all we need you to do is apply. How much of that ain't costing her no dollar amount. And she could sit there and say, well, okay, that's nice, but I ain't really pressed. I'm not pressed to go apply, So a lot of people are at a point where they don't feel pressed because it's not costing them anything. There's no expense to it. And that's why they're struggling now, because then when they really start trying to do this business and they realize there's an expense, now they want everybody to pay them $300-$400 a pop. And that's why I did that video. Just because you overpaid to get in this business doesn't mean that these other people over here are supposed to be sitting up here paying you all of this money to make up for the bad decisions that you made, the mistake that you made. That's not the signing company and the title company's concern. They're concerned with you getting the job done right. They don't care about how much it costs you to get into business. Nobody told you to do that. You did that on your own. So, nobody told you to marry that dude that don't want to work. Nobody told you to marry that woman who can't cook and you always hungry. Nobody told you to do that, but you did it anyway.
Oh man.
You got to live with come on, that's where we're at. Because it's about decisions and relationships. So the decisions you make in the relationships that you have affect you and others greatly.
Griff, I think a lot of times people want to be reassured that this is gonna work, and there is no assurance that anything is gonna work. Not even these W-2s. There's states where people can walk into Georgia is an at-will state. Yep. Somebody can walk into my office tomorrow, Monday, and say, "Hey, you out of here." Like there is no assurance anywhere, and so we can't, nobody can tell you that, oh, yes, this is the notary business. You're going to make $75 a signing. You're going to make $150 for every loan closing. Your costs are going to be low. Your printer's going to always work. It's always going to be ink at the Office Depot. You're never going to have a flat tire. Like, nobody can assure you of anything. You just got to know that this is what you want to do, and you want to invest in doing it the best you can.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I like the idea that, and I was doing that myself for a while. Doing, if I get orders referred to other notaries and things of that nature, but I had to stop because for whatever reason, a lot of notaries are really addicted and in love with being in these Facebook groups. And as much as I respect the notaries in my area, I get concerned that one of them, if I refer them and then one of them decides to employ one of those Facebook tactics that is not proven, that's going to make me look bad. Yeah. That's why, because that's why sometimes when I talk about the different companies I'm dealing with, I would love to say who they are, but the companies have told me, like, hey, look, who's out here teaching this thing of calling the title company all the time and asking us to be preferred when they haven't done any work for us? Why are they calling us on the last day of the month for signings when we got 85, 90 signings that we trying to get closed that day? And they calling me talking about, I want to be preferred. What work you got for me? And they say, we're thinking like, okay, why aren't you working? If you're supposed to be all this good of a notary, why aren't you out here taking orders? Because if this is the last day of the month for closings, you should be getting work and everything. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I'm like, y'all got the wrong perspective. The wrong perspective.
They building their business off of catchphrases. Right. Everybody want to go direct. Everybody want to be the preferred notary. Everybody want to, sit in the offices and just have the assignment set on the table in front of them and just notarize papers all day. Like, this, it's not a catchphrase. It's a business.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the direct thing, it's good. It's good if you got it. But the past few months, like the appointments that I've been getting, I've had title companies reach out to me through Google. They're like, "Hey, we're looking for a notary. You were the first one who came up on Google in your area. Like, can you do this for us?" Like, my past closing just been title company reaching out to me, not me calling them.
Well, what that tells me is the notaries that they probably have screwed up. They probably had notaries that they was working with, and they done set up there and did some stuff wrong. And now they're like, okay, let me go out here into the streets and see what I can find and everything. And then Mathurin out there with his gold chain and everything, LL Cool J hanging in the background. And they like, you know what? That's a real street dude. That's who we need right there to get these closings done. So, I mean, but that's what I believe that's going on. These companies are starting to realize we can't trust these folk. We can't trust these cats because they out here cutting the fool and everything. Now, here's what I've been finding out about these, and I'm just looking here. Oh, no, I can't do that. No, order came in and I was trying to see if I could do it, but I can't do it.
He's working around the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But one of the things that I'm finding out is that I've been told by multiple notaries that when they go into these title offices, they eventually start trying to get them to be a W-2. Because think about it. If you're a quality person, they're going to be like, look, this is the kind of person we need to work in here. And they don't want to lose you.
Nope.
So they're trying to, so I keep hearing stories of people going into title offices and then they start asking you to do all this extra work. And then they start asking about, well, hey, how about you just be an employee here? And you're sitting here trying to run a business, but they want you to be an employee because, I mean, it saves them money, give you $15 an hour. instead of the 150 a signing 3, 4, 5 times, $15 an hour, you working there 8 hours versus you being there 8 hours and doing 4 or 5 signings, you making bank. And they're like, well, we could save money if we just had you here as a W-2 doing those same number of signings. And notaries who get comfortable and they feel that they need that office environment in order to feel important, that camaraderie, that water cooler talk stuff and everything, they could fall for that. They could literally fall for that. And one lady quit being a notary, had her be an agent, all this. You know, she's like, this is not what I signed up for. And after 2 days, she quit and went back to being a notary.
That goes to show that, that's why people don't understand the level of responsibility that comes with going direct. Like, going direct is not to me, this is my personal opinion. Owner, she listens, Notary and Business Services. This is not the consensus of all the panelists tonight, but that's to me the drawback of not really understanding what the difference is between going direct and then working for signing companies and doing general notary work. Yeah. I love me a good signing company because they know that I'm in the area. They'll call me first. I'm still working on my own terms. I'm able to negotiate my fee. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sitting up with somebody else having me tied to their particular physical location. Yeah, so right. But they get in these Facebook groups and all they hear is go direct, go direct, go direct. Yep. And they don't really understand the responsibility that's tied to that.
No, and that don't really work because I'll give you guys an example because I want to say maybe around March, like in the beginning of the year, right? I had this one title company. Like every week, I'm getting like between 5 and 10 calls from them. And hey, we have this, we have that, we have this, we have that, and I picked them up, when I'm able to. And then a few months later, it went dry, like completely dry. Like not a call, not an email, nothing. So now that one title was pretty much funding, like pretty much most of the funds that I was making throughout the month was coming from one title company. No lie, because they just keep calling me. And when it goes completely slow, it dried up. And then I kind of went back. It kind of brought me back to where they say you don't have your eggs all in one basket. Now, so that situation right there, I was like, you know what? When I started this business, I was mainly general notary work. I need to stick to what works for me because this whole direct thing, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And then when I shift my mindset back to that, it's funny because all the signings that I was getting after that were from title companies calling me, like random title companies from like Florida, Texas. I've had people in Michigan calling me. I was like, never heard of you. But they was like, hey, we found you on Google. And so I kind of switched up. So I started to focus more on general notary work. And it got to a point where a few months, I was making as much I was making for one loan signing and one general notary appointment. Like, there was no printing, no scanning. There was I don't have to worry about getting people's ID to send it back to them. So everything was done. Like, I'm not knocking those who go direct, but you need to understand that once that company decide that their volume are starting to get lower and they need to find another notary at a cheaper rate, they are not going to reach out to you. It's simple as that.
And see, one of the things that I think that a lot of people need to open their mind up to is understanding, as I talk about a lot, is business model. So what is the business model for this particular industry? What is the business model for this for a particular region in the United States? So some areas, they may have higher quality title companies that know how to go out there and build relationships and have built relationships and know how to keep the business flowing. So you can connect with that company and they can fund you and give you a lot of business on a consistent basis. But then you could be somewhere else and they're just a bunch of fly-by-night title companies. They got stuff going on in there. It's just one or two people that's doing it. And then they get overwhelmed, because just imagine if the title company gets overwhelmed and they're not able to do the proper title searches and all of that. And that's why it's important for a notary to somewhat understand what it takes to be a title company and what their responsibility is. Because if they don't do the title searches right, they don't have the money right, that's costing the lender. They can mess around and cost the lender a lot of money. And then that's where things can get slow. So if you're with a title company that has their stuff together, which there are some out there, then yeah, you can work with them for many, many years and everything will be great. But if you get with a small company that's trying to look big, in other words, you got a notary who's trying to fake it till they make it, and then a title company trying to fake it till they make it. At some point in time, when are you going to make it? When are you going to do what is right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard many stories of title companies stealing money out of those escrow accounts because there's so much money that gets put in the escrow and it sits there for 20 days, 30 days, and then they start nibbling on it. And you think about the process. If you have a title company that has to overpay notaries to get signings done, so now the lender said, title company, we're going to pay you this fee. But then the title company got to turn around and pay the notary half or more of their fee. Mm-hmm. That's less money they have to work with. So now they still got bills to pay. Where are they going to get the money to pay those bills? Sometimes they may start dipping into that escrow money that they have available sitting there until they get the next closing done and then put that money back. And next thing and I heard this straight from a real estate attorney. And that's what she told me that she's seen happen. They start dipping in to pay their bills and stuff because it's costing them. And the next thing you know, you got somebody going to jail and stuff.
All right. So while we talking about, as far as why we're on this topic, right? Because I wanted to mention, because a few weeks ago we was talking about, all these training, the certification. And that's also one of the topics that we have tonight, as far as, do you think, beside the NNA, and I know some companies require people to be NNA certified, all this training that's going on right now, do you think it's really necessary for someone that's starting brand new? Like, I personally would not advise someone to go spend all day money to get all these different trainings. But what do you think? Like, do they really need the certification? Because people need to understand that you are notary public first. Mm-hmm. So do they really need all these certification, all this training that's coming out there, charging people, $400-$500 just to go learn the basic on pretty much how to be a notary public? So do you think people actually need to be spending that much money?
Me, no. And everybody knows I don't think you need to, because I know there are a lot of people out here who are financially hurting right now. Yep. So to come into this business, a simple business, a business that can actually provide you with an opportunity to take care of your family, and no sooner than you get started, they got people got their hands out and extracting money that you haven't even earned at all. So the question is always, and I think Samantha, you.
What's that? You were breaking up a little bit.
I said you work in the educational field, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. So one of the things that I always learned about college or any kind of education is that whatever training you're going to take has to be relevant to what you're trying to do. You just don't take training just to be taking it. So in a W-2, now think about this. In your W-2, if let's just say you're doing the college reimbursement and you're an IT person, you can't go get your company is not going to reimburse you for getting a degree in psychology because you're an IT person. You got to get a degree that's related to the job that you're doing, and they'll reimburse you for that. Now, if you decide to go and get a psychology degree, being an IT person working for XYZ company, okay, then you're going to have to fund that out of your own pocket.
Yep.
But if you stick with your career field, then yes, we'll reimburse you. So as a notary, you have to say, what is it that a notary is supposed to be doing? And any training that I get supposed to support and undergird and build up and secure the foundation of that. And if the training is not, then I need to leave it alone until I see it's necessary for me to get it. So now the question is, if this is what a notary is supposed to do, then anything that I spend my money on should help me be better at that. And then this is where you have to do due diligence, which I know in the college realm, that's what the guidance counselors are there for, to try to figure out what is this young freshman's likes and dislikes. Matter of fact, when this young high school senior, what are your likes and dislikes before we get you signed up into the wrong class, because we don't want you wasting your money taking certain classes that you aren't prepared for. Okay, you're not ready for certain things, so you know we might have to put you in the remedial classes to get you up to speed, so that you can handle it and all of that. That's what's missing. Everybody's like, I'm gonna teach you this and you're going to be able to make all of this money. But the problem is, what I'm seeing, that what they're teaching people doesn't support good notarial work.
No,
that's it right there.
It doesn't support it, because I put the situation out like I had today. You know, lady that was named Jane Jones, and they wanted her to sign Jane Jones, FKA Jane Smith, because she bought the property under Jane Smith. So they wanted her to sign the document saying that basically she's acknowledging and wanted me to notarize both of those signatures. The problem is she didn't have an ID, a valid unexpired ID, in her maiden name anymore. I was like, I can't notarize this document if she's going to sign that way. There's no way I can do that. So they was like, and the title company and all of them was like, no, yes, you can. We want you to do this. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I need this here. Now, my question then is, what training out of all these different companies, who's training notaries on how to deal with that? What notary can hop in here right now tonight and say, I took such and such training and they helped me to figure that out?
No, because they're too busy trying to teach the loan documents as opposed to the different notarial acts that you can perform in your state. What it boils down to, I heard somebody use this analogy. So if you're naked, the goal is to have clothes, right? So here we are here in these notary streets. We got all these naked notaries. You want a shirt or do you want a polo shirt? For the most part, we just want a shirt, right?
Right.
But right now, notaries are paying for training that's tied to name brands as opposed to tied to function. The function is to put a shirt on or to have clothes, not to sit up here and buy a training because someone's name is tied to it. I respect everybody's hustle. If that's what you want to do, fine, knock yourself out. But just because you put together a nice social media graphic saying that you're now a trainer, what do you have to substantiate the fact that you know what you're doing?
Right.
Just because you're doing a live Zoom or doing a live whatever, saying that you're training people on how to do stuff. I don't want to sit in a training where, you know, we're not talking about the business of what it is I'm there for. But by then you've already, you know, swiped your card for the $1.99 or $2.99 or whatever they're charging, and you don't even know if you're going to learn what a notarial act is. I've had plenty of notaries call me like, what does this mean? I'm like, well, what document is it? Well, this is a closing disclosure, and I don't understand what this means. Baby, you in Georgia. You ain't supposed to be telling these people what's on their closing disclosure. You are there as a notary. I don't know where you got your training from, but if you look in your handbook, it tells you you're not supposed to be out here doing that kind of stuff. You're not supposed to be telling people what their interest rates are and how much money that they're going to get. That's not your job.
Not at all.
But who taught you? Are you giving the oaths? Are you using certificates when you need to? That's when you're not in a loan closing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what they're being taught.
No, not
Look,
at all. Not at all. And it's one as far as the loan signing aspect of it, whenever I'm at an appointment and the client just asks me, "Oh, what does this mean?" Or is this a good rate? Like, do you think do you think this is a good rate? I'm like, look, I can't I can't answer this question. If you want me to call the attorney, if we can get the
That's it.
attorney back on the line, you want to get the title company back on the line, so we can do that. But like when you at a loan signing appointment, do not give your opinion. Like, don't
right.
be like, well, my last client had a 2.5. You got a 3.5. Like, don't even go into details. Like, I just go through the documents.
Well, that's because people want to be brand new. What I've learned is that, and I'm gonna just say it straight up, our people want to show how smart they are.
Mhm.
They get out here and they want to show how smart they are. And I'm not trying to be funny here, people, okay? Because we got all various groups of people, races, and all of that. I'm just speaking from my personal experience of the phone calls that I get and the vibe that I get when I'm talking to people. When I hear a guy tells me what I just think that it's my responsibility to know something about the loan documents. And I'm like, okay,
No,
that's you
it's
trying,
your responsibility to stay out of jail.
Yeah,
right. So
pretty
when you
much.
hear people say that, that tells me you feel you're looking at, okay, on your W-2, it may be important for you to know all of this, that, and the other, so you can show the manager how smart you are, so you can get that promotion. But in this notary world, that's not the case. Now, something that you were saying earlier, Samantha, about giving the oath. I gave the oath one time, and the people was looking at each other like, what is going on here?
Yep.
And I was like, and so after the oath was over, I said, everything all right? They said, well, look, we've refinanced like maybe 5 or 6 times, and no notary has ever done the oath with us.
I get that all the time, Griff. All the time.
Then I got today, and I'm starting to understand that. I don't know if it's I use the integrity journal. I don't know what it is. Maybe I didn't say it's the book. It looks so official or whatever. But now, like tonight, the couple said, do you always do this? And I'm like, do what? Have people sign in this book, or is this a requirement? Is this just something that you do? And I said, no, you're supposed to. I said, in Virginia, we don't have a journal requirement. However, we're doing a mortgage. We need to. And they was doing a loan modification. So that's dealing with their mortgage. I'm putting you in my journal. And they was like, because we've done many refinances and other notarial thing, and nobody has ever put us in any kind of book.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So this is where I'm saying this is what's causing notaries to get hurt. So let's just say you have 15 notaries, new notaries in the area who are doing these bad things. Then when notaries 16 through 25 come on the scene, that company has a sour taste for anybody who's new. Because look, we've had these new notary. Now we just gonna stick with Samantha and Mathurin. We know they solid. We're gonna just keep with them. Like Amy was saying on Facebook here, that a lot of her direct clients come from Florida. So if they know that they got somebody solid, they're gonna stick with them, and they're like, I'm gonna leave these new people. And that's what they've been telling me, that they don't feel like messing with new people anymore because they're scared that they're going to get burned. And that's why I keep saying over and over, the new notaries, you got to communicate in your profile that you know what the heck you're doing and how to do it. But everybody thinks that, well, I'm a notary and I took so-and-so's training. That should be, there's too many variables here for these signing companies to say, okay, yeah, we like that person's training. We like that. They ain't, in most cases, they're not even looking at that. They're like, are you NNA certified? Do you know how to do the job of a notary? It's either yes or no.
Yep.
And all notaries can say, well, I took so-and-so's training. Oh, and let me say this, and then I'm going to swing it over to you. All right. Here's what needs to happen right now. And I think, Samantha, you will agree with this. I know everybody talks about, I need a mentor. I need a mentor. The mentors need to be qualified.
Yes.
There needs to be a standard of saying what qualifies a person to be a mentor. Because just because you know how to notarize to some degree does not mean you know how to be a mentor, because you got to understand what being a mentor is, and what the relationship between a mentor and a mentee. There's tons of videos out there. I even did a video myself about it and linked different videos. And I know everybody's like, well, I need a mentor to show me what to do. My thing is, are you asking for a mentor so that you can be lazy and not figure it out for yourself and just want them to give you the answers as a shortcut? Or are you really wanting to be mentored? Because mentors, true mentors, they tear into your behind when you're not doing stuff right.
Yep.
And if you're not, and see, here's the thing, to me, this is where it's dangerous talking about I want a mentor. We don't know each other that well. We're just not getting familiar with each other. So here I am in Virginia, and you're in Texas, and you want me to be your mentor. And then I start like, okay, what is your problem? What's going on with you? And some people who call me, they know, like I was talking to somebody that was like, okay, where's your mind at? Because you're answering the questions all wrong. And that's just my personality, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. You're thinking over here and you need to be thinking here. And I'm not going to sit here and try to soft coax you and make you feel good. And no, you're wrong. This is you're thinking incorrectly. You need to be over here. So these mentors that you are running behind, you need to vet them. And if you're not willing to vet them, I'll be straight with you. Don't call me complaining about it. Don't call me talking about you got dropped. You need to vet the daggone mentors a little bit better before you spend a dime with them. You need to get something in writing. You need to get a daggone money back guarantee or something for these mentors. And then again, what are you trying to get mentored in? Just like if you're trying to get education, what are you trying to get your education in? And what are you trying to get mentored in? Because Samantha, when you have a tutor, if you struggling in chemistry, you're not getting a math tutor. You're getting a tutor that can help you in the realm in which you need support in. And if that mentor, that notary who's supposed to be this mentor, does not have that level of experience, how in the world can they mentor you? Because all they're doing is just going to their mentor and regurgitating what they learned from them and just sharing that with you. And it sounds profound, but they really can't help you because all they're doing is just giving you a bunch of sound bites. What you got, man?
No. What you say, as far as, I just want to just piggyback on what you said as far as certain notaries not doing the right thing during the appointments. Because I remember, I'm not sure if I told you about it just a couple months ago. I was doing a loan modification, and even I had the same clients. That was her third one that she was doing because the previous notaries had messed it up. I pull out my journal. I fill out the journal, had them sign, had them take an oath, and the husband's looking at me like I'm crazy. He was like, "We had two other notaries prior to you, man. We did not sign the journal." And I was like, "Well, it's required. It's the state requirement. That's why I have to do it." It was like, "No one checked our IDs. We didn't sign the journal, and we didn't sure didn't take this oath thing that you have us doing." I was like, "Damn." I'm like, "So we really have notaries out here." And most likely it's new notaries, or it's either if that new, it's pretty much somebody that's probably been there and they just don't care. And that kind of had me, just wondering, like, these notaries that pretty much don't want to follow just a basic guideline, how are they gonna get themselves in a situation? I feel like at some point it's gonna make it harder for us that's actually doing our work. It's gonna make it harder for people to even become notary public based off people not following just the basic guidelines. Like,
Yes.
that's like the simplest thing that you can do. Verify the ID, write in your journal, and give an oath if need be. And just to know that people out there not doing that, that was mind-boggling for me, man. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you primarily do what you're trained. And if you're not trained in that realm, that's where it's at. If you're not trained and encouraged to do these things, I mean, it's just I mean, I guess it's just so amazing that anybody who's been in the business 2 to 3 years longer than me, that they don't feel that they have the ability to teach the basic notarial stuff. And I'm like, so if you can't teach the basic notarial stuff, then what is it that you're trying to teach people to do? And I know I sound like a broken record, but they're still out here doing this. So I'm like, okay, where are you going with this? Where, what road are you putting me on? And where's the path that I'm going to? Because I don't see where the level of success comes in. And then I have to question all these people who bragging about how successful they are. I would love to sit down and let's get some in details. Did you already have a connection in the mortgage industry? Because if you already had a connection, then all you needed to do was just get a notary stamp and take somebody's course and learn some basic business fundamentals. Okay, well, really, you probably could have did that on your own. You didn't need to take somebody's course.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's your financial status? Because see, like me, I can't sit here. Like I hear a lot of people say, well, I only do, a couple of signings a week or a couple of signings a month because I got, okay, so you got all this other stuff going on. So you can't tell me not to take a $50 signing when I need $6,000 a month. And you got $6,000 off of your W-2 or whatever else you got going on. And notary is just play money for you. Two different factors there. Yep. Okay, you're a young lady doing it and your husband making bank. And you're doing this because you just tired of being home and you bored and he might just be always gone and you just need something to keep you entertained until he comes back home. And then when he comes home, let's say if you're in the military, and then when he comes back home from the, after a deployment, now you ain't even thinking about notary. Then when he goes out for another 6 months, now you want to be the notary of the year. He comes back. So you ain't doing this for real, like I have to. Mm-hmm. If I don't do this thing, if I don't take those orders, like me and Mathurin was talking earlier, I made $650 today between those 6 signings. 8 hours, solid 8 hours. Started at 8 o'clock this morning, finished at after 5 o'clock. Yeah. Finished at 6. So you're talking about what 10-hour day that I did. I finished by 6 o'clock this evening, made $650, and then somebody will sit up here, thumbs down the video because they're thinking, "What? I ain't enough money." I'm like, how much daggone money do you need then? I mean, you ain't making $650 in a day working your W-2.
Exactly. Most people are not doing it. Like let's just be honest here. Most people are not doing that, and it's always let me see. You say $650, right?
Mm-hmm.
650, 8 hours. 650 divided by 8, it's about 80. Hold on, 80. Just I want to give you the exact amount. It's $81.25
an hour.
If you wanted to look at it like that. Most people out here are not making $81.25 an hour. So it's starting to get to me where, even new notaries, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not taking this signing because so and so say I should be getting this amount of money."
Right.
So if you look at it, right, let's say loan modification. Last month I had a whole bunch of loan modification. Let's say you average on your loan modification $60. Loan modification are quick and easy. You can be out of there 20, 25 minutes or maybe even less. If you do 20 loan modification at $60 a piece, that's $1,200. And you want to tell me that you are not willing to do loan modification at 60 and you get 20 of them. So some people are getting 20 in a week. So let's say you get 20 just for the month. That's $1,200. So you're going to pass up on $1,200 because so and so said you should be getting $125 for loan modifications.
And then again, with anything, what's the justification? Okay, so let's just say, we're in a service industry. We are the product. So let's just say, okay, so Mathurin, all of you and your wife decide, you know what, our kids are a little bit bigger, instead of having carpet, we're gonna get some hardwood floors in the house. Mm-hmm. And you get some quotes. You get 3 quotes. One's for $6,000, one's for, let's just say, $4,000, and then another one is for $12,000. Now the person for $12,000, they're like, okay, yeah, you need to pay me. And you're like, okay, well, all of y'all using the same the same wood from the same source.
Yeah.
Why is yours 12,000? Because now you got to justify. So let's just say you're in a situation where your spouse handles the finances, and they say, look, all we can spend at the most is $8,000 on these floors. So we got a quote for 4, we got a quote for 6, and now here comes 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to your spouse and say, well, babe, I talked to this guy and I think, we should go with him at 12,000. You got to give this person who's running your finances proper justification as to why we got to go and add another 4,000 to the budget. You just can't say, yeah, honey, we're going to pay this here. Okay. And they're going to be like, whoa. Because to give them 4,000 more means we got to take 4,000 away from something.
Yep.
So now what are we willing to take $4,000 away from? Well, I want $250 for this signing. Okay. And then the scheduler, who's not the owner, that's an employee, has to go to their manager and say they want $250 for this $125 signing. Now, what's the justification, Mr. Scheduler? They said they feel they're worth it. So now that scheduler done told the manager. Now the manager got to tell the owner they want us to give them $250 and the order's really only $125. He's like, okay, what's the justification? They feel they're worth it. Okay, what kind of work have they done for us? Well, they've only done like 1 or 2 for us. How was the work? It was okay. I mean, they didn't make no major errors, but it wasn't nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
So now they want us to give them double just because they feel they're worth it. Yeah, pretty much. Go find somebody else.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, go find somebody else. And that's why I tell people all the time, all you got to do is just ask them, well, I want 250. Well, what's the closest you can get to 250 without needing approval? It ain't gonna be real close, but and everything. So this is the sad part with all of this. And it really hurts my heart because a lot of people, man, it's so many people who probably should be at about 300-400 signings right now, and they're nowhere near.
Mm-hmm.
They're nowhere near those 300-400 signings, and they're missing out on work because the companies are now saying we're only going to deal with somebody that got 200 signings, and you stuck at 35.
Yeah.
And everything. So this person asked, can you go over what's in a loan mod package and how many pages? Well, the one that I did, my last one tonight, was $75, and that was only 10 pages, 2 notarizations.
Yeah, that's about right for me. I think the one I did a couple of days ago was about 24 pages, and it was 2 pages that need to be notarized. So so my thing is when you are getting this loan modification, whether somebody's calling you about it, whether you are getting the notification, take it. It's simple. Take it. Like it's don't pass up on it because those are great appointment fillers. That's what I use them for. Like tomorrow, I have a loan mod. It's not for my title company, because I'm assuming the title company send a document to the clients, and she had to reach out and find a notary. I've been getting a lot of people like that. They are calling me. I had a lady call me 2 days ago saying title company wants me to find a notary so I can do my refi. I was like, what? She was like, yeah. They tell me I need to find a notary. And I was like, man, they are cutting corners. They are cutting corners in order because they know the notaries that are not familiar with loan signing, they're probably gonna do it for a lot cheaper. And when I give her my price, I was like, hey, first of all, she live on an island, which will require me to take a ferry to get to the vineyards. She lives on Martha's Vineyards.
Okay.
That's like half the day for me. I have to get a ferry. When I get off the ferry, I have to get an Uber to your house, get there, get everything notarized, and get an Uber back to the port, get on the ferry, then go drop this off. So there's really no room for mistake at all. Because that's an entire day worth. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so she was like, "Yeah, I think that's the issue that they all." And then I even offered, I offered her. I was like, "How about you meet me off the island, so I don't have to go all that." So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "If you meet me off the island, this is what I'll do it for."
Right.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. And I feel like based off what we're doing, instead of losing the lead, there's other ways where we can still make the money.
Yeah.
Like just because let's say you want 250 and the person say I can't pay 250, and then you just counter that. Just just talk to them. It's all about relationship. Just talk to them. If I
Yeah.
can't get 250 and they was like, "Oh well, you don't have to come all the way to my house." Like for instance, you don't have to come to the island. I'll meet you off the island and I can pay you 175. Like I'll easily take that. But most people will say, nah, it's 250 regardless if I go to the island or if I don't go to the island. We have to learn not how to compromise and stop listening to all these gurus that's telling you that you should be getting this X amount of money for
Yeah.
certain documents.
Well, here's the question to everybody, and even to myself. This is long before I ever thought about doing any of this stuff that I'm doing on YouTube. I had to ask myself, why did I start being a notary? I started being a notary to do what? Make money. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make money. And the question is now, and this is Amy from Cyberize It. The question is, did you join this business to make money or to brag about what type of assignment you have? Because that's where a lot of people are at right now. They're worrying about bragging about the assignment and being able to say, I didn't do a loan mod. I did an $800 refi. I didn't do a debt settlement. I did a $600 buyer's pack. Everybody's trying to have these bragging rights. Nobody don't care about your bragging rights. Are
No.
you making the money to take care of your daggone family? Because I know as a man, and I'm gonna put this out here. I'm gonna just take a chance and I'm gonna put this out here. And I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate from this here statement, but I hear a lot of young ladies constantly talking about how about they won't do anything because they're worth this and they're worth that. And let's just be real. And this ain't no race thing. This is just straight up male to woman.
Mhm.
There ain't a man that a woman could be with who could sit on his butt and say, "Well, honey, I know I'm a master electrician, and in New York they paid us $45 an hour, but we're down here in Alabama and they only paid 35. I ain't getting out there for no 35 because I'm worth 85. I'm worth this, that, and the other." And you're gonna be like, dude, we got kids to feed, we got light bills, we got this. Get your behind up and go out there and take the 35 and bring money in. But I hear people acting like for them, it's okay for them to have this attitude of, well, I'm worth this and I'm worth that. And there ain't no daggone way. And I'm not trying to be funny, ladies. There's no way in the world that I believe any of y'all would accept your man sitting around and not taking work when your family needs money.
Mhm.
So if you need money, your family needs money, and you're sitting here saying, well, no, I'm not going to take that order because I feel that I'm worth more. Okay, so then when he says the same, I hope you're not going to get no frying pan upside his head. Okay, that you're going to accept him saying that because you're saying that. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it goes both ways. And again, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but these are the phone calls that I was getting of people, and I'm sitting here like, hey, no way. That's why I said I had to prove to my wife that I could do this business and take care of our family. And I got out there and I had to hustle, and there ain't no daggone way she was going to accept me showing her after 3 years I only made $14,000 because all I did was take $150 orders versus making over 100,000 by taking everything that moved out there that was considered opportunity. And it's not so much about money. It's about you taking advantage of the opportunity so that the funds can come into your life that you can take care of your family. That's to me where it's at. What you got for us, Amy?
multitasking here. You know, I don't ever sit still. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I agree. You know, like there are things that I won't do, and you know, it's personal choice, and my husband respects that. I don't travel. I don't do any mobile signings. Everything I do is from my computer here at home. But that's my prerogative. I can choose to do that. I don't have to worry about whether or not I make the deal or not. I'm good. But there are people that do. And if you need it, I've been there. You know, I've been in a position where, you know, the kids ate ice cream for dinner because that's all we had in the fridge. Or I had to call off sick at work because I didn't have enough gas to get to work. You know, you got to cover your bills. And you got, you know, while, yeah, you might be worth this, if you ain't pay your bills, you ain't worth nothing. You got to do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're male or female because I've seen them both ways. Um, so I don't even agree with your idea that it's gender based because I think a lot of people that hold themselves to this standard and they're like, well, I'll never go to that. And then they end up shooting themselves in the foot because that would build their business and that would get them to where they need to go. Maybe that one time that they took a client for $60, it turns out to be this multi-million dollar contract that they get for future times.
Yeah.
You never know. So, you know, to each their own, I agree, but you can't necessarily look at every job by the dollar amount.
No, you cannot. You cannot. And I'm not like I said. I can relate to that because back in I want to say March, I had this escrow officer who reached out to me on Instagram, and he wanted me to service an area where I normally don't service. So instead of saying, I told him, hey, I usually don't service this area, but because you reached out to me, so I'm willing to work with you. So I went, I got the documents, I met with the clients. Clients were absolutely horrible, yelling, refusing to sign. I had him on the phone. He's telling them, you have to sign. He's like, why do I need to give him my? It was just bad. So I stuck it through. I got to it. And then when the following week, after he received the documents, he called me back. He called me to thank me, and then he said, "Oh, I'm going to refer you to this company. They usually require you to be recommended, even though you only did that one signing for me. I'm going to refer you." And that company that he referred me to, I've gotten plenty of signings from them on a monthly basis. Just because I went out of my way and did one signing that I in an area where I usually don't cover for a lower fee and it doesn't open up plenty of other opportunities. So I can relate to what Miss Amy just said just now.
Yeah, and I think that's key because even with me, and I know a lot of people like, well, don't answer your phone during a signing. I was doing a signing with this guy, young guy sitting at this table, and my phone rung. So I just glanced down at it, and all it said was a title company's name. It said such and such title. I'm like, so in my mind, I'm still new at this. I'm thinking, oh, it must be, the title company for this order. Let me answer it, in case they had some pertinent information. I answered it. It was from a lady from a different title company that's in my area, and she was looking for a notary to do a general notary work for her husband. So I go over there and do it. Find out that she runs this title company, and she was worried about how she's going to keep her title business going. And I said, ma'am, don't worry about it. I got you. I said, me and the notaries in this area, we got you. So I'm always looking at how can I help the other notaries. So I didn't really know too many notaries, but I was like, I'm gonna help you. I said, if you need us, you just let me know. And I promise you, any notary I send your way will be top quality and get the job done. A whole year goes by, and then she finally remembers that I told her that I would help her keep her business. She's now running it out of her house, and now she has me as her main notary. Well, had I not taken that phone call from her and been patient and continued to do the business, here it is a year later. She's like, okay, Griff. And now next thing I know, she's paying me my fee, no questions asked. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing with the Ron. I did 2 Rons in one day, Amy. The guy had 2 properties, and I did both of them. Did 2 separate sessions with him and everything. and knock those bad boys out. So the companies, if you're there for them, if you're willing to do the work, and that's all I keep hearing the motivational speakers say over and over again. If you're willing to do the work, it will come. But that's why I keep saying the principles, each principle, especially business principles, require a certain level of work. And when you do that level of work that principle needs, it'll release the level of success or what it has or consider success for that principle. So if you're trying to do a good product, there's a principle of certain things that you got to do to make sure that product is good. And when you do that, your product is going to generate the revenue that you want because you put in the work to make sure that it is excellent. And that's what I love about Amy and her platform. She's put in the work to make sure that her platform is right, so that as time goes by, immediate and in the future, it's going to help generate the revenue and the level of success that she is looking for from it, based on the effort and energy she put into it. If she just would have said, okay, my site is up and that's it, and then went on a 3-month vacation, where would she be at?
I'd be in Grand Turk. No, you're right. Like I'm getting ready to deploy new features, and then in January, another wave of features, because, when you build something like this, you can't just build it all out in one. It takes time. It takes persistence. It takes trial and error. You don't know what's broken until you actually do it. So, you've got to build upon it. You can't just let it go.
I just thought I'd ask you, since first time speaking with you, Amy. What is it that you do?
So I am an Ohio Notary Ron loan signing agent. I've been a notary for over 20 years. And this year I built a Ron platform and sent it out for the public. It's available in 19 states since July 1st.
Nice.
And then we've got about 5 more that are pending right now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. Let's see what we got.
And that's her platform right here, Cyberize It.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to check out the website. I'm not I know during the pandemic, the state of Massachusetts had approved us to do that, and I think after the pandemic, they had, they was like, no, we can't be doing that anymore. So I might have to check up on the state laws to see if anything changes since then.
What state are you in?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Someone was mentioning that the other day, and actually the Boston post office called me because they had someone trying to get a passport, and the father was in Jamaica, and they needed someone to do something. So that I thought that was pretty cool that your post office called me for a notary.
Oh, nice. That is awesome. That is awesome. No, I'm definitely going to check the website and to see, if there's any way, if there's any service that I can provide, or so what we can do over here. That would be great. So I appreciate that.
No problem. I'll have to check and see if you guys are on. I know they've adapted a few more states, and I just haven't been able to catch up with them. It's been too busy, but hopefully we'll be here soon.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's see.
Excellent.
Oh man, yeah, Amy is amazing.
So what's your next question, my man?
General notary work. I think this like the last one we have. A lot of people. So I'm going to quote you here, because you call them the pandemic notaries, and I love that. I love that. A lot of people for some reason, they do not want to do general notary work. When I started this business in 2017, all I was doing was general notary. I didn't even know that was a term, general notary work. I was just doing work. And then, as I get more into it, and getting more appointments, different type of signings, and just so some of the appointments that you guys might get for general notary work, it might be like a travel consent and a car title transfer. It can be a child care form, can be even a separation agreement form. So pretty much that's all the stuff that I've been doing throughout the years. But as I started to hear more about loan signing agent, and I noticed a shift where a lot of people did not want to do general notary work.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your take on that? Because I feel like that's how I built my reputation in my area. That's how, if you Google me right now, I'll be the number one notary public that shows up, all 5 star review. That's how I built my clientele, was doing just the basic assignment that people were not doing. Yeah, I remember when I used to call order notaries, and I'd be like, hey, I just want to know how much you'll charge for this and that. Like, oh, see, I don't do that. That's like that's basic. I don't waste my time for that. It's not enough money. And then I was like, all right, fine. That's that's more for me. I go, I get paid the same day. Sometimes now I'm starting to require clients to make a deposit. So that you give 50 of the full, either you give 50% deposit or full payment prior to the appointment. And that is refundable as long as you cancel 2 hours prior to the schedule time. And 9 times out of 10, when I ask them for a deposit, like 50% deposit, they send me the full payment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already getting paid before I get to my appointment. So that drive now just become a lot sweeter. So that's how I've been able to manage the general notary. So what is your take on that? And why do you guys feel a lot of people do not want to participate on that? So I know Griffin is busy, so if you want to answer that, Miss Amy, so that would be good too.
So
Go ahead on, Amy.
okay, so I totally agree. You do not want to sleep on general notary work, especially if you are going into things like with Ron, because there's a lot of there's a lot of times that you can't use Ron. You can't use it sometimes on wills. You can't use it on some election documents. You can't use it on some mortgage documents. Sometimes even a car title can't be done through it. But a lot more general notary work is accepted versus a loan or mortgage type document. So you'll get a lot more work as long as you open that door. So I don't sleep on general notary. I'll take it left and right. And I think it's easier.
Yes, it's a lot easier, and and the main thing that I always tell people: look, if the client is calling you to go to their house or whether to the hospital, to the school, they already have the documents, so there's no printing for you, and you're not dealing with a title company, so you're not scanning back, you're not mailing anything. Every now and then, I will get a customer that will have some document that needs to be mailed, and 9 times out of 10, and I'll offer the service, and they're like, "Yeah, what's your fee for going to drop it off for me?" So now I'll get paid for going there and notarizing it, and I'll make extra because if I have time, I'll drop it off at the post office or the UPS, and then I'll just I'll just take a picture of the receipt and send it to them. It's there's other ways that we can improve our service to the public.
Well, for me, when I started doing, like I tell people all the time, I always wanted to be a notary when I was a kid. And when I finally decided to do it as an adult, the reason why I started doing it was that I noticed that a lot of low income people at that time was switching over and getting their bank account set up with the Rush card and the Steve Harvey Green dot card, and they didn't have a bank account. And I found out that if for some places, if you don't have a bank account, they won't notarize your documents. So the way I looked at this was, if they're not going to no, hey, yeah, hold on. Could you press the cancel button on that printer for me? Yeah. One of the things that I learned, I said, okay, what was I saying? I lost my train.
You were talking about the green card people not having.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so what the problem was that people couldn't know. So I thought, I said, okay, well, that might be an opportunity for me to make some money, because when those individuals who don't have a regular bank account needs a notary, they can call on me. So I was in the process of figuring out how to market to them. And that's when I came across the loan closings. Then I came across Bill, and I was like, okay, let me check this dude out. He's sitting here chilling in the car. That's what I sort of like to do anyway. And when he said to understand the being a notary signing agent, every house that has a mortgage on it is required to have a notary to close it. And I'm like, okay, well, in my house is 66 other houses other than mine. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with this. So I think, okay, I can make this happen. And then I just went on that journey, the catchphrase everybody like to use, and started learning about it. But through the process, I was like, I'm just going to notarize whatever I'm legally allowed to notarize. And I didn't know it was like this general notary work versus, the loan. I just like, if you need a notary, I'm the guy that you got to come see. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I started doing. And I love the general notary work because you make great connections with people. You get to be around people and help them out. I mean, there's so many people that I've been able to help out through just being able to do the general notary work. And then I have loan closing clients that'll sit there and ask me, can you notarize other documents? And I'm like, yeah. And I say, why? Is there concern? Well, the last notary told me that they're not allowed to notarize any documents except for loan closing documents. I said, no, they don't want to do that because they think that doing non-loan closing documents notarizations don't pay enough. So I'm a dime you out. I just tell on you. I just say, nah, they just money hungry and they don't want and they don't want the $5 that you are required to pay in Virginia at the max $5 and all that. They want to get more money. But in doing general notary work, I now have a solid client that I've been working with for the last 2.5 years. They're doing some stuff I can't discuss. It's nothing illegal, but they called me in through my real estate agent, said, hey, call Griff, he'll notarize for you. And every time I'm doing a notarization for them, it's on a Sunday. That's the only time it seemed like they're available on a Sunday. And this past Sunday, I did some for them. And they're like, okay, we need you to do this NDA because we want you to be our main notary. Now, this after 2 years of me signing documents for them. And they're like, you're going to be our notary because we're about to expand our business and do other things. And we want you to be the main notary for us. So to show them how prepared I am, the lady said, well, I got these 6 documents that you just notarized. So I'm getting ready to go home and scan them. And I said, oh, if you need them scanned, I can do that right now. I pulled out my little tiny scanner, flipped that bad boy up, scanned them suckers real quick. And I said, drop in the email address to your attorney. Note how I did this. In my email, put your attorney and send it from my email so that your attorney has my contact information in case they might have some work. And she was like, okay. And I said, you wanted to CC to you? Yeah, put your email in there. Oh, did you print something, man? Okay. And I said, and then that way they know. And she was like, okay, cool. Did her thing. And I scanned it. Boom. Done. See, so this is how this goes all the way back to your first question, man. You're talking about mindset. When you're in the right frame of mind, you're looking for opportunities to advance your business. And you're sitting there, like a hawk or a falcon that's just sitting there. And it's just, they got their head moving and they looking and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you need to scan. Okay, I can scan it. Bam. But if you're not prepared, I mean, that scanner, that DS940W, oh my goodness, that thing is so awesome. You can wirelessly scan to your phone. You can scan to an SD card. I'm like, who wouldn't want to have that scanner? Who wouldn't want to have that scanner? I mean, that thing is awesome and everything. So I love general notary work. primarily because it helps so many people out. It's not always about the money for me. It's the fact that it can help people out.
Yeah.
Because anybody who's coming to you for general notary work, they need help. I mean, people refi just because they're trying to save a few bucks here and there. They don't.
Yeah.
And people pulling out $100,000. Like, okay, you don't really need that. You don't need me. You got it going on and stuff.
Pretty much, right? That is awesome. Let me see. Do we have any questions? Like I was trying to follow the comments. I wasn't not able to see. Hold on, trying to see if anyone has any question while we're on here regarding general notary work. Really, someone has made a comment for hospitals. Yes, I do travel to hospitals. I go to hospitals. During the pandemic, I met with a client at a campground. Like they were out camping. I show up in the middle of nowhere, and the wife was not happy to see me because that just tell her that the husband never got the paperwork signed and notarized before they left. They were trying to have a weekend getaway to themselves, and here goes Mathurin Notary Service just pulling up to the campground, and she's looking at him like, damn, you never got the you never got the document signed. But yeah, so I travel pretty much everywhere that for appointments, and I feel like a lot of people don't want to go. Well, I'm not saying a lot of people, but some people that I've come across, they don't want to go to the hospital. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's everything that's going on with COVID. I'm not sure if they think that it's more requirement. Like hospital appointments are fairly easy. You checked in as if you was checking in to see like a relative. Like you go in, you give your name, who you're seeing, and you meet with the nurse. And one thing I will say about hospital appointments, you always want to ask them if they have a copy of their driver's license, because I've been in a situation where the wife has the ID at home, and because the husband's at the hospital, she had to take everything home with her. So before you make that drive, because it happened to me, and I don't want it to happen to anyone else, ask them that they need to have the valid ID with them during the appointment, because you don't want to drive there. And she's like, "Oh man, I didn't I didn't think I need his ID, even though he's signing the document." So
All right, so you say you got a bounce, Amy?
I do, but I did see someone say something about Ron in Nevada, and Ron is legal in Nevada. And my platform's there. I actually had to pass the test in order for my platform to be accepted. I had to pass the notary test. So if they are interested in Ron in Nevada, feel free. I think it's a $50 fee to request a platform with the Secretary of State. That's nothing to do with me, by the way. But check it out and follow that up. But I do gotta run. It's late here. Griff, you're in the same time zone as me, and I will be back on YouTube Live tomorrow night at 9:00. So I will see you all then.
All right, now, lady.
All right,
thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Oh man.
Yeah. Well.
So I think we pretty much touched on everything that we had to cover tonight, Griff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, the info is good. Look, and just so everybody knows, look, check out the description. There's links to various different things. Everybody always asks me to put stuff in, links and stuff. The list of signing companies that I signed up for, they're in the description, and various other things. So check out the description that's on this video for that information. But the main thing is you have to be ready and willing to work. You got to make up your mind, what are you going to do? If you're going to go out here and do this business and work it, then do so. Stop making excuses and just go ahead on and do it. I mean, now I understand, like me and Mathurin, we was talking, my lifestyle affords me the ability to really do what I'm doing. My kids are adults. My wife is running her own business. And therefore, I don't have those responsibilities of being the daddy, with the little kids and stuff. Whereas that's what he has. And then they're homeschooling and all of that. So his vibe and his energy, his lifestyle is different. So one of the things that you have to look at in trying to do this business, whether full-time or part-time, is whether or not your lifestyle supports it. If you have to put in time with your family, if you have a spouse that is not necessarily in the mindset of entrepreneurship, you really do have to tread lightly, because if they're thinking that what you're doing is something that could put the family in danger financially, because they don't understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur, then you may need to spend time with both of y'all taking maybe a free entrepreneur class. Okay. And again, don't call on somebody that's in your Facebook group or somebody who's, new at this business and no. Get somebody experienced, spend the money to go to a college class at the community college, maybe a night class, and you and her both sit in there and learn about business. And then that way, she may or he may not hop into business with you, but she may or may not hop into business with you, but at least they know a little bit more and they can't be a hindrance.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't want your spouse to be a hindrance to you moving forward. So if this thing is right where it needs to be and you're going to do it, but because their lack of understanding what being a business owner and an entrepreneur is all about, it could greatly interfere. And I would say, even if you're a single parent and you have a kid probably 12 years old or older, you probably want to have some conversations with them, because kids can do stuff when they think that, oh, you're not giving me the attention that I want. I act like I don't really care for you, but I really want you to be around. I just want you to be in the house. And now you got to go do a signing. Nah. So you may have to have that conversation with your child to make sure that they understand what you're doing and the purpose and the benefit that comes from doing this. If you're like, I'm gonna just go out here and do this business, and you just want people to just be on board just because you're doing it, that may not necessarily work. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to think about what you're doing and the costs to being successful. You know what I'm saying? It costs to be successful. Don't cost really a whole lot to get amenities. I mean, you can apply for a credit card and have $20,000 limit and buy all of the shoes and trips and all that stuff you want and still be broke and still not be successful. But it costs.
Yeah, it does.
There's a price you got to pay for success. And it's too many of us out here, well, I won't say us because that ain't where I'm at. Too many of y'all out here that's not willing to sacrifice to that level. And lastly, I will say this. Sometimes your spouse just ain't gonna be on it with you. And then you got to make a decision that if you believe in this thing and you're willing to commit and work out here for this business, then sometimes you might just have to go ahead on and do it irregardless of whether they believe in you or not.
Yeah.
And go out here and show them, because sometimes like they say, the proof is in the pudding. You putting forth the effort. Right. That's what I had to do for my wife. And not that she didn't get it, but I had to prove to her that I was going to be willing to do what's necessary so that our family will be taken care of.
And that pretty much what it comes down to, doing what's necessary. That and a lot of people, as you said, are not willing to do that. And I kind of feel the same way. With everything that we have going on right now, we're doing with the notary, the stuff I do for real estate, as far as like wholesaling, because I also wholesale, and I do Massachusetts, North Carolina, and I'm just targeting Northern Florida, and pretty much everything else that we have going on with homeschooling the kids. That can be tough. That can be tough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, based on your environment, your family structure, like the kids know when it's time for daddy to go to work, or if I need to go to a signing, they know what they need to do. like I bring my kids to appointments. Like they'll go for the ride, even if they don't come inside the house. You know, they'll be in the car with their books, be in the car with their games or everything else like that. But the family structure and the support is something that's extremely important for anyone that's that's starting this business. And
Yeah.
just like you touch on, even if your spouse is not supporting it, as long as you believe in it, you believe in it and you are willing to do what you need to do, I guarantee you, your spouse will turn around because they will see that what you wanted to accomplish, they'll see you actually putting in the effort. They will start to see the results. They might still not be 100% with it, but they're going to start acknowledging the fact that you're putting in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with success. That's the thing. You can't argue with success and everything. And a lot of people, I don't. I mean, I guess I'm trying to. Hold on. You know, we got a lot going on in our lives, and a lot of people have gone through some stuff, and a lot of people are just tired. And it's like, I just want something that's going to just work, and I have very minimum effort to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I truly do. I get that. But anything worth having is worth working for. I mean, just as a young lady would tell that man, like, look, if you want me, work for me, work for it. Come and get me. You ain't gonna just sit here and catcall at me, and then I'm supposed to just run over to you and everything. Nah. If you want this, show me that you are for real. And the same thing, guys, okay, if you committed to me, then sweetheart, girl, okay, you can't keep running over there to Raekwon. Okay, you can't keep going over there to him, and you're supposed to be with me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So anything worth having, the bottom line is this: if it's a relationship and you believe that relationship is worth it, then you're going to do what it's take to cultivate it. Because, like, the lady called me yesterday or day before and asked me. I mean, I'm out here doing house inspections, and the lady called and said, "Hey, we got your name off of 123 Notary, and that site is a database site of Notary. So, I paid the $99 on there, and I got to go back and really update my profile. But based off of what my profile is now, they're like, yeah, we see you one of the top notaries in your area, and want you to do this closing." So she asked me how much I charge, and as I always say, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you I charge this. And she was like, oh. Like, oh. And I said, she's like, okay, well, let me see if they will approve that. And I said, hold on, man, before you go, what's your limit? She was like, 125. I was like, okay. All I was asking for was 150. I said, no problem. I ain't gonna squabble over $25. I said, if you want me for 125, I'm yours. She said, okay. And then her whole tone changed. Again, the scheduler is limited. They probably told the scheduler 125 is our max. I said, okay. Next thing I know, she calls me back. Boom. I get the order. Then I get a call from another company. They're like, hey, we want to can you do this order for us? Same day order. Now, most notaries, because of what they've been told in Facebook, oh yeah, charge them $300 since the same day right now. And that was the order that I had to go to the military base that I was talking about last night. And I didn't have the problem. They didn't. I needed, ID and all this kind of stuff, and it was a big mix-up.
Yep.
But I went out there and did, and the lady asked me how much. I said 125, and I've done stuff for them. So some companies already know 125, 100. That's their limit. And I want the business because I'm trying to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to squabble over $25.
Exactly.
If I want 125 and all your limit is 100, okay, cool. Because if you keep giving me these $100 orders, that's going to add up. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at a check that I just got for one of the companies off of SnapDocs. It's for $1,050. 9 orders. Out of the 9 orders, one of them was a $25 print fee, and then out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out of the 8, 3 of them was $175, and the rest was $100. So, I mean, the work is out there.
Yep.
And I'm not saying these numbers to try to be braggadocious or anything. I'm trying to get y'all to realize that there's signing companies out there that have no problem paying you what you think you're going to make in a title office.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're cool with making 100 to 175, there's companies out there on SnapDocs that'll pay that. But you got to get your butt out there on SnapDocs. You got to put your work, your stuff in SnapDocs so that people will see that you're working. If you're not putting your orders in SnapDocs, then how are people going to know that you actually even out here doing the work? You have to do that. So, I mean, you got to make up your mind, people.
Yeah.
Did you join this business, for bragging points and just to have meetups? And there's nothing wrong with meetups and getting together. But if you're spending more than 20% of your time, in my opinion, doing meetups, when are you making money? How many meetups do you need to make money? That's the question. How many meetups, when you're seeing the same people, how much more encouragement do you need? How many, like they say for people who go to church, how many more times do you need to hear the same message in church again?
Yep.
That you need to make a change in your life? How many more times? How many more times? It's like at some point in time, you need to start executing what you say. Yeah, that's true. You put your weight on it, preacher. Okay, they put their weight on it, but when are you going to get up and put your weight on it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Griff, you saying what's right. Oh yeah, Mathurin, you're saying what's right. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, we on it. Yeah. Okay. So when are you going to start executing? And it's too many of us who are not executing. The bottom line is, if you can't execute in your regular non-business owner life,
Yep.
what makes you think you're going to just flip a switch and start executing over here?
It's not happening.
And you don't have the right mindset.
It's not happening. I think I'm not sure. It's like somebody was trying to join. I'm not sure if you've seen that before we wrapped up. So I wasn't sure. I want us to wrapping up, and not like I don't want them to think we're ignoring them. I think it says Alicia was trying to join.
Yeah, I told Alicia to join because she's doing some great stuff on Facebook and everything. If Alicia wants to join, we'd love to hear from her.
Yeah,
and everything.
Yeah, she reached out to me on Instagram a few times, so we talked a few times trying to get on. See if I can do a clubhouse with her, trying to, make sure I get everything situated with my schedule first. Because the thing is, I don't like to commit to a time and then I'm not able to do it.
Right.
So that's why I like to, go throughout the week, see how my schedule looks like, between everything else that I'm doing. So let me see. Is she joining, or if not, we should?
Nah, I don't think she's gonna hop on just yet.
All right. So just one last thing, right?
Go for it.
As far as as when we open this up, I open with the book that I recommend. If you had a book that you want to recommend to somebody that's starting out, whether it's in business, personal life, if you had a book, what would you recommend?
Man. Man, it's really a series of books. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh, I just got that.
That book, No Excuses by Brian Tracy.
Mathurin.
And then the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. those are my 3 books there. That is the matter of fact, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I'm gonna do a giveaway for those 3 books and yours. I'm gonna do a giveaway. So right now, what I want everybody to do, don't you put it in there because you'll get put in there too. Everybody in the comment, type in hashtag books, hashtag BOOKX. Everybody who types in hashtag books is going to be entered into the giveaway, and we're going to give away all 4 of those books. All right. I'm going to give away all 4 of those books. I'm going to send those books to you because I got to finish sending out the other gifts that I did from last Friday. And I got so swamped this week that I didn't get a chance to finish doing that. So I know they mad at me. They're like, okay, Griff, where my stuff at? So I got to do that.
Yeah, and also I just want to say, if anybody want to reach out to me, please don't hesitate. It's like, me and Griff, we have the same type of energy. Pretty much what I know, I'll be more than happy to share based off my experience. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to me. Not sure if Griff has my information on here, but I'm on Instagram, Mathurin Notary, YouTube, Mathurin Notary Services LLC. Definitely just reach out to me. Like I said, I can only talk to you about stuff that I've experienced based on my experience. I'm not going to try to sell you some dream, some lavish lifestyle that I'm not even trying to go after. So, I keep it real and I keep it honest.
Yeah. So Mathurin Notary on IG, Facebook, and YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm on as far as YouTube, Mathurin Notary Services, but I'm sure as soon as you put that, I'm probably the only Mathurin Notary on YouTube right now.
All right. So just anybody just type in hashtag books, and we're gonna give away all 4 of those books. And I'm telling you, they will help you out tremendously.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
let me
see what we got.
All right. So we got 17.
Oh,
all
nice.
right. Come on, 17 people. I'm giving folks some time to get in here. Hold on, let me go back.
You know what? I kind of like this feature here. I think that's
yeah.
That's definitely a good idea right there.
All right. So look like we got everybody in there. Everybody in there. Let me double check. All right, 17 folk. So I'm gonna hit the button and we're gonna see what happens. Now, last week, all the women was winning. The women won everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, here we go.
There she is. All right. So look, hit me up. Demetria, hit me up at Notary Help at GriffinNotary.com. Or if you got my number, or you can text me at 757-797-5432. I can have your info and we'll get you straight on that and get that stuff out to you.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. So, well, man, I appreciate you. I really do. Enjoyed this and everything and all that. So I'm gonna end this, but don't hop out just yet. Don't hop out just yet. And everything. All right.
So, all right, folks. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys are staying safe and keeping a positive attitude. Hope you guys are achieving any goals that you guys set for yourself. And just remember, when the goings get tough, you just have to get through it. Nothing in life comes easy. You have to put in time and effort.
That is true. All right. Well, y'all have a good one, party people. Peace. Oh, and don't forget tomorrow at noon Eastern, we're doing the interview back on my channel with Vanessa Terry. With Vanessa Terry tomorrow at noon Eastern for about an hour. We're going to be chopping it up, talking about signing companies and all of that good stuff. Nice. All right. Y'all have a good one. Peace.